This is not a black march or white march. This is an American march for the rights of American people. Members of Congress, beware, we're serious about the three things we raised. When you get a ring-ding on Christmas, it might not be Santa, it may be Remal coming to your house.
It's Al Sharpton referring to himself in the third person, like Fidel Castro. He descended on Washington yesterday for what he called the March for All. But do these protests do more harm than good? Joining us now is Fox News contributor, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. Colonel, thanks for joining us this morning. Does a march like this help the country or no?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Tucker. Good morning and Merry Christmas. It absolutely does not help the country. But let's first start off by understanding one simple thing. If myself or any other black conservative owed $4 million to the IRS, I doubt that we would be leading marches through Washington, D.C. or New York City, or we'd have our own talk show. It's amazing how
you'd be
on
in
the
jail
other side,
right now if you own
absolutely would be in jail. So you just have someone that's totally invalidated. But Al Sharpton is not talking about the real issues in the black community, and that's really what should be the discussion. Michael Brown is part of a black teenage group that has almost a 45% unemployment rate. They're not talking about the failure of the school systems, the public school systems in the black community. They're not talking about the decimation of the black family. And the reason why they can't talk about that is because of the Democrat policies. You go back to 1965, the Great Society programs of Lyndon Johnson, that began the decimation of the family, and the teachers' unions would not allow them to talk about school choice, vouchers, charter schools, or even homeschooling.
So I agree with you completely, but the president's the same way. I mean, isn't it just a lot easier to say the problem is white racism, there's really nothing we can do about it, we're not responsible for the failures of policy that have left black America in the condition it's in, so just blame white racism? I mean, isn't that just the easier explanation?
Yeah. It is the much easier explanation. It's the low-hanging fruit. That's what we used to call it in the military. Because if they were to confront this, they would have to understand that it's their own policies that have caused this. It's their own policies that have created a almost 21st century economic plantation in the inner cities. But when you go back, there's a great quote by Booker T. Washington that talked about a certain class of black people that love to have grievances presented before the community so that they can keep their position.
I want to get your take, Colonel, on this video that has been in the news for the last 24 hours. It's a rap video in response to the Michael Brown shooting. You're looking at pictures of it on the screen. In it, a cop is symbolically executed. But the striking thing about this video, in addition to being violence and apparently calling for violence, is the fact that some of the people in it are public defenders here in New York, paid for by tax dollars to defend the accused. What do you think of that?
Well, first of all, it's absolutely appalling that tax dollars would be used for such a propaganda video. But then when you have someone like Mayor de Blasio just speaking out against the police, it is, just part of this whole process that you see going on.
What do you think the chances we're going to see higher crime rates in the next couple of years?
I think it's very high that you will see that.
Yeah.
Very high.
Colonel Alan West, we're grateful you came on this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. And just like to say happy birthday to my wife, Angela, today.
Amen. Happy birthday, Angela. Thanks, Colonel.
Thank you.